She was only 12 years old when prosecutors say she lured a classmate into the woods, nearly stabbing her to death to please a fictional character called Slender Man. Today, 23-year-old Morgan Geyser was back in court for an extradition hearing. Police say she recently escaped her group home in Wisconsin by cutting off her tracking bracelet, but was eventually found about 150 miles away in the suburbs of Chicago. Our Ike Ajachi joins me now for more. So what's the latest from court, Ike?
Yeah, Kira, 23-year-old Morgan Geyser spent about 30 seconds inside that Illinois courtroom as she signed a waiver allowing her to be extradited back to Wisconsin. Now, her waiving her extradition essentially sped up the process of her facing the consequences of violating that conditional release back in Wisconsin. Now, over the weekend, she set off a nationwide search for her whereabouts after police say she allegedly cut off her ankle bracelet and fled her Madison, Wisconsin home with the 43-year-old individual. Body camera footage later showed her and that individual, later identified as Chad Mecca, sleeping on a sidewalk behind a gas station in Posen, Illinois, 25 miles south of Chicago, and as you said, about 150 miles north of her group home. Now, at first, she didn't want to give her name to the officers, but she eventually did so, later saying that she has done something wrong and that they should Google her. As you said, when she was 12 years old, her and an accomplice led a classmate into the woods where she stabbed them several times. That victim did survive, but Geyser was later found not guilty for reasons of mental disease, where she was later sentenced to decades in that mental health institution, an institution that she was just recently granted conditional release from back in September from a Wisconsin judge. Kira.
Well, Geyser, I guess Geyser returned to the same group home that she escaped from, or is she going to have to, I don't know, be in a more locked down facility?
Well, the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office said that Geyser's next court date is contingent on the Department of Human Services in Wisconsin filing a petition to ask her to be sent back to that mental health institution. So the district attorney's office has already said they support her going back into that health institution and hopefully reversing what the judge did, which is essentially grant her that conditional release. So at the moment, Kira, it's unlikely that she'll return back to that group home. Kira.
All right.